Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. What do you make of that fight? Do you give Billy Joe a chance of upsetting the apple cart against Canelo?
I think he's going to be a very tricky, I think he'll be a really tricky opponent for Canelo. I think his movement in itself is spectacular. He's always been very, very fleet-footed. I remember doing rounds with Billy Joe when I was an amateur and thinking I couldn't hit him with a handful of stones. But my head goes with Canelo. I just think he's really clever, really intelligent pressure, and I think just that constant head movement. He won't give Billy Joe a target to hit. He'll also be making him hit fresh air, and I can see him sort of potentially getting to him late with body shots. But it's a fantastic fight, and I really hope that Billy goes and pulls off the upset, because he's a good guy, and it'll be a huge win.
Stylistically, are you surprised that Canelo went with Billy Joe as opposed to Callum Smith? Do you think it's an easier fight than the Callum Smith fight for Canelo, more difficult fight?
It will be more difficult for the first 5 rounds. It'll be like how Amir Khan was flying around, dancing about, throwing out quick shots. He'll struggle to get his timing in early, but it won't be a physically grueling fight. Like, I think Callum Smith will be a much harder puncher. He's much more dangerous, even though Canelo has a chin on like a sledgehammer. He's just got a fantastic chin, but he is very, very tall, Callum Smith, and got good shot selection. I think they're clever with their decision making. Billy Joe also talks a fantastic game. He will talk it up. He'll raise a lot of profile. They would have looked at all of the angles to make it into the event that it's going to be. Billy Joe won't. He'll say what he feels, and in the press conferences, and he'll put it on him, and and I think it will be like a cat and mouse sort of fight. Billy Joe will be creating angles, and all the Mexican fans will get on him, get that shot off, and it'll be an exciting a match between boxer versus puncher. So. I'm excited about the fight. I am really excited. I would have been really excited if Callum Smith had a box. I just think anyone's, I'm a big fan of Callum Smith's, and I hope he gets a big shot in the near future. So it's just a bit of a, he didn't have a flattering performance against John Ryder in his last one, and that might have cost him.
Final one on Billy Joe Canelo. We've seen in the past Canelo, you mentioned Amir Khan for the first few rounds. We've seen him struggle with Erislandy Lara, Austin Trout, that kind of cute, slippery, defensively aware southpaw. But they haven't got the decisions. Controversially in some instances.
Lara, do you think?
Personally I had Lara beating Canelo. I didn't have Trout, and I can't quite understand some people who say that.
I think he beat Lara.
Lara was overwhelmingly negative in that fight, but anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, in America, they definitely favour close rounds. They favour the person that's pushing the pace, and Canelo's always been doing that. But you can see him against Mayweather, for instance. He was very one-paced, and that's something that he's got better at with time. He's understood gears, Canelo. I mean, he's always fantastic head movement, fantastic blocks. He always looks so poised coming forward, but he does look for that magnificent shot, that bang, that finishing shot, and someone like Mayweather just never gave him it. But with that being said, he found it against Amir Khan. Obviously, Billy Joe Saunders is a completely different physical specimen to Amir Khan, but he's going to be hard to pin down. But I think against Kovalev as well, he's able to up the pace late on, and he has that. He's got that X factor about him that finds a shot and finds a way to win no matter what, the size of the opponent and what's presented in front of him. He's mustard. I love watching it.
Where I was going with that is, how important is it for Billy Joe Saunders to, at times, hold the middle of the ring, try not to just run for 12 rounds and actually earn a little bit of the real estate, and try and push Canelo back in stages and try and land his own shots?
It won't happen. I don't see him pushing him back. I see him. Billy Joe's got a very good chin. He can take a shot. There's no doubt about that. But he needs to stay disciplined. You know, sometimes his fighting spirit gets the better of him and he throws one or two many punches. And you saw against Eubank Jr., which he won. You know, at times late on in the fight, he wanted to have a trade up, and that's something that he can't do. The only way he can win this fight is on points. It's like the only way he can do it. And he has to win rounds convincingly because he's in against the golden boy. He's in against the face of boxing. So I see it as a huge, huge challenge to stay disciplined for 12 rounds against him. And as you said, I just don't see it. I don't see he's not physically big enough and strong enough to push Canelo back.
It's kind of where I was going with that, like not just winning the rounds, but winning the rounds clearly enough that you win them against the Golden Goose in Las Vegas for so Billy Joe's the defending champion, but Canelo is the star of boxing. Can he do that?
No.
Okay, moving on. Alexander Usyk versus Derek Chisora again.
And that's not being disrespectful. I just don't think he can. You know, I just don't think. Yeah, I don't think his style is suited to that, as you said, winning the rounds and pushing him back, and you know, because there is going to be close rounds, and he's gonna have to fight fire with fire at times, and I just see him getting outgunned a little bit.